ARMS. So ARMS is the latest game released for the Nintendo Switch. A unique 3D fighting game in which every character uses stretchy arms in order to fight. And it's not your traditional fighting game in which you can string combos together. Basically, it's a poking game. Both players will launch their arms, slowly trying to shave off their opponent's health, while at the same time doing their best to avoid any damage. Now that might sound rather plain and boring, but the game is actually a ton of fun. And a big part of that fun comes from the characters and their weapons, which funny enough are actually called ARMS. Each character not only has their own unique design, but also unique abilities that differentiate themselves from the others, such as Ribbon Girl being able to jump 3 times, or Master Mummy resisting flinches and being able to heal while blocking. Now while at the beginning each character does start out with their own unique set of arms, it is possible for each character to use every arm available. So if you wanted to use your favorite character but they don't have the arm that fits your playstyle, you can attain them in Get Arms. This mode has you spend the currency you obtain from playing various modes in order to acquire more arms for each character. Depending on how much you spend will determine the amount of time you have to attain these arms. Also, I like to think that you get a higher chance to obtain arms for the character that you pick for this mode, but that might just been luck on my part. Now one of the biggest selling points for ARMS is the motion controls. Sadly, there is a disgusting amount of fighting games that have relied on motion controls and they have just failed miserably. And I would say that this may just be the one fighting game where motion controls actually works. For the most part, the controls were precise. When I wanted to move, I would move. When I wanted to punch, my character would punch. And the tutorial when starting up the game does a good job teaching the basic controls. But that is as far as the controls will get you. When it came to actually getting the correct input, such as throwing a straight or curved punch, or doing a grab, I would have to consciously focus on making sure I was doing the exact motion in real life. It got rather frustrating when I would try to throw 2 consecutive punches, only for the game to register a grab, and vice versa. And let's not forget to mention the almost non-existent guard. Trying to guard using the Joy-Cons is almost impossible. The game would just not recognize it, or it would just take too long to recognize it, so you'll get hit before even getting to guard anything. With all that said, I did feel that I enjoyed and had better movement control when using the Pro Controller. Now I know not everyone can afford that ridiculous price tag for a controller, so for those who don't have one, you can still play with the Joy-Cons attached to the grip. Not gonna lie, the controls on a regular controller feel just extremely awkward. And unfortunately, there is no options to customize your button layout. But with enough time, the controls will feel more natural. But for those looking to play this game like the developers intended everyone to play it, you are more than welcome to do so. Moving on to the modes, we have what you would expect in any fighting game. We have Grand Prix, which is basically just your arcade mode for ARMS. 10 fights, last fight being a boss fight. Honestly, the only complaint I have on this mode is that sometimes the game will force you to play minigames. And sorry to say that these minigames are the worst part of the game. I absolutely have no fun playing any of these minigames. These games consist of V-Ball, which is just volleyball, Hoops, which is just basketball, or should I say, spam the hell out of grab, and Skill Shot, just hitting targets. All these modes are completely boring and lackluster, and the worst part is that these could actually be one of the 10 fights in Grand Prix, meaning you lose one of these and you'll have to play it again if you want to progress. I tolerated it during the Global Test Punch, but for them to force these modes on the player in the main game is just unacceptable. Oh, and one more thing. Someone want to tell me why this man Biff sounds like an Inkling? Like what happened to his voice from the Direct?
Oh yeah, I'm Biff, your trusty ARMS commentator.
Did Nintendo not have enough money to pay this man for some voice acting for the game? Like, what the hell?
Oh ramen gods, why must you forsake me?
Versus of course has the usual, which is just fights against the CPU or another player for some split screen action. Also found here are those stupid mini games I just talked about. So if you're attracted to garbage, then here you go. They're right here for you to play as much as you want. But the one minigame that is actually worth pointing out is 1 on 100. It pits you against 100 enemies, last one being the boss that we all know and love. And as far as minigames goes, it's actually not bad. I mean, I will probably never play this mode after the first run, but it's way better than those other trash. At the bottom we have training, which allows one to retake the tutorial or practice other game mechanics such as learning how to do rush attacks or how to anti-air an opponent. The other mode, Arm Test, is a little misleading in its title. It doesn't actually allow you to test out the arms that you have. It gives you completely random arms to use, some that you didn't even unlock for that character, and you're just basically doing a survival challenge. It's confusing why this mode was paired up with training, because why would you want to practice arms you don't even have? But anyway, let's just move on. For those that participated in the global test punch, then you will be familiar with Party Match, as it's pretty much the exact same thing. You're thrown into a lobby full of players and the game will place you into a variety of games. From one-on-one to team matches to crappy minigames, all the sorts. And of course we have Ranked Match. Which interesting thing to note is that you are actually required to complete at least level 4 of Grand Prix before even able to try this mode. Not sure why they blocked it off this way, but once you do, it's pretty much straight up one-on-one, 2 rounds, no item drops, all for those competitive players. And of course, you're going to be able to create a lobby for people on your friends list or join up with anyone who has a Switch nearby. And that's pretty much everything ARMS has to offer, and for what it has, I love it. Honestly, there does seem to be a lack of content when it comes to ARMS, but that does seem like nowadays a lot of fighting games have the same issue. And I think despite the little problems within the game, such as the annoying minigames or somewhat inaccurate controls, I see myself constantly coming back to play this game, especially with friends. The game overall looks gorgeous, each characters are designed beautifully and have a unique personality to fit their design, and the gameplay, while simplistic, is enjoyable and does seem to have a level of depth to it. This game is a nice fresh take to fighting games, and I will say that ARMS is definitely worth purchasing a physical copy. And that is my review on ARMS. If you enjoyed this video, please smash that like button. Also leave a comment down below. Let me know, are you planning on getting ARMS or have you bought it already? What do you think about it? And if you want to see more videos like this, please do hit that subscribe button. It helps me out tremendously. Anyway, I want to thank you all so much for watching. Have a great day, and I will catch you all later. Peace!